As much as there are excellent big budget and AAA games out there, I've been on a kick of indie games recently. Silksong, Blasphemous, Inscription, Tunic, these are all excellent indies, but what if I want that crust? Games that intentionally have a rougher style and overall look to them are what I call crusty games. There are those that intentionally hit you with weird art, UI, controls, or what have you. I wouldn't necessarily count games like Iron Lung or Buckshot Roulette as a crusty game though. They certainly have that old school style to them, but it only really applies to their art style. Crusty games need to smother you in the crust, and intentionally will have design choices that are often seen as bizarre. These sorts always catch my eye, and more often than not, tend to play excellently. So, I've picked out 3 examples I want to talk about. If you like these sorts of games and me talking about them, leave a like and also put a comment down below on some other ones I should check out. Maybe one of the best examples of a crusty game, Cruelty Squad is well known for being that game that looks like this. It's always a treat to show people that don't know this game how it looks. There's a huge border around the screen at all times, your health counter icon is massive but the number is minuscule, and you need to physically move your mouse downwards in order to reload your gun. The creator, Ville Kallio, has the style that just seethes with some sort of feeling. That style is all over Cruelty Squad, and this torment applies to its themes. It takes place in a world where death has effectively been removed, only costing $500 to revive oneself. Corporations and businesses have totally taken over, and you work as a wet work employee under the Cruelty Squad, in which your handler, this guy, sends you orders to infill to a location, eliminate a target, and get out. It's a solid immersive sim underneath its weird exterior, and you end up with plenty of weapon and equipment options to take on a contract in however way you see fit. Some of the equipment is typical, like grenades or body armor, but others take a bit more of an eccentric route. I like the Grappendix because grappling hooks are cool. The levels start out simple enough, being just to go kill a pharmaceutical CEO who's embezzling funds and basically leaving the way that you came in. But as you go through the levels, your work isn't as simple now, such as having to go through a mall to take out a senator who is proposing such extreme policies, like implementing a 1% corporate tax. Once you finish him, the mall goes into lockdown and you need to find a new way out. Again, underneath this bizarre style is actually really tight moving and shooting. Combined with plenty of secrets, multiple endings, and a lot of unlockables, it took me about 15 hours to complete all of the levels and get most of the stuff. Talking to people is the best way to get story out of the game, and it tends to reveal some lore details. That, or it's just incomprehensible. One thing I find absolutely hilarious is that at any time in the game, in mission or menu, you can open up the stock market to trade and make some money on. Your actions and where you are in the game actually do affect these stocks, so you can absolutely cheese getting money out of them. Besides the stock market, you also have access to the bodily organ market and even a fish market. You can go fishing in this game to make some cash or harvest the organs from enemies to make some easy money. It's things like that that make this game so unique. It truly shows the CEO mindset. Made in the same engine as Cruelty Squad, Dungeons of Blood and Dream also plays fantastically while having its own style. Similar to the former, Dungeons has this constant huge border around the screen with a colossal health bar on the right and all these little guys on the left. This is a roguelite, so there will be plenty of procedurally generated levels, RNG-based loot, and a few permanent upgrades to find in order to make your runs better. But what I like about Dungeons is that it has this intrigue to everything. It feels like it goes a lot deeper than it actually does, and it makes for a fun experience. You open the game with this fella yapping at you. You're a blood wizard, trapped within this guy's mind prison. The game involves you going through his dungeons of dream, trying to find a way out. You're also given a manual, which explains some lore and basic controls, as well as teasing some items and enemies. It seems that finding out the name of your captor is key to escaping. So it's time to set off. Every level is randomly generated with a certain number of regular rooms, items, enemies, if there are any, a shop, a room to fully heal once, a treasure room, and a boss room. You'll need to fight the floor's boss in order to open a portal to the next level of Dream. There will also be colored locks on some doors which need its matching key, which is always somewhere accessible within the current floor. In terms of progression, you can collect these Dream Spheres which let you upgrade your health, damage, spell cost, and number of summons you can have whenever you die and choose to wake back up in the mind prison. There are also these concepts you find which opens dialogue options with NPCs and act as a way to add new items to the loot pool, like weapons and rings. So in the dungeons, you've always got a trusty weapon for close range attacking. You can choose to either slash or stab with the weapon, in which, depending on your blade, deals more or less damage in either slashing or stabbing. You've also got this implanted ability within your left hand, which starts out with a simple half second of invincibility. There are a few other hand abilities to find, but I always stuck with the invincibility since it lets you get close to some enemies for free, basically. One downside is that the game doesn't really talk about fencing, which the game mentions in the manual. Whatever your last direction you hit, either A and D to go left or right, your weapon grip adjusts. But there's only one item in the game that actually takes advantage of your fencing position, and there's no enemy attacks or guarding mechanics or anything like that that takes advantage of it. So it feels like it's a bit of a lost mechanic, so to speak. Anyway, being a blood wizard means that you can cast spells by using your scroll wheel to select a sigil, and by combining certain sigils you can cast a variety of spells. You don't actually know any spells off the rip, and you'll find what each one does in these blood mirrors. It's not a good idea though to trial and error the spells, since casting directly damages you. It's blood magic after all. During your runs, the two typical pickups besides health and gold are potions and rings. Potions affect your speed, damage, health, gold drop rate, and all of that, but you'll have no idea whether it's a good potion or a bad potion until you drink it. And these differ between runs, so you need to mark down what smells are good and bad. Otherwise, rings do a similar thing, but can have some more unique effects, like granting immunity to some environmental hazards or giving you a small companion. Ring effects depend on what finger you put them on, so you'll need to experiment with them in order to optimize your build. And luckily you're given this notebook that you get to write in for basically whatever. I like to keep track of whatever spells I know, as well as the guaranteed good and bad potion types. So that's a whole lot of mechanics I just spouted at you, but it doesn't end there. It goes to show that the game is a lot deeper than it lets on, and you'll need to spend some time getting used to what weapons you like, potions to drink, rings to equip, and secrets to find. There are multiple endings, many secret dungeon layouts you'll find with these special portals, and overall a lot of mystery. You get these Dark Souls style item and enemy descriptions explaining the history of the world, and it will allude to things the game or NPCs will only mention like once. People talk in these cryptic ways, and it seems like the world of Dream might actually be a better place to be than the world of Blood at times. I could talk forever about dungeons, but the main takeaway is that this is a super in-depth roguelite with plenty of cool discoveries to make in it. I love these little guys that you have in your own mind prison who comment on certain things in order to let you know what they do. My favorite line in this game is, "It's a door." Of course. Also, this game gets bonus points for having a crust slider in the options, so you can just go nuts with the crust. I haven't really talked much about the aesthetics, but it's essentially just a dungeon core style game. You're going through these dungeons doing wizard stuff, and you've got these bardic tunes in the back going nuts. Highly recommended, go play it. Bryce Booher... Butcher?
Bryce Booher.
Bryce Booher makes some pretty good games. My brother keeps telling me to play Fatum Batula, or... sorry, wait.
Fatum Batula?
Fatum Batula. Huh. Anyways, it's this PS1 style adventure thing. I do actually own this game, and I'd like to do a full video on it once I play it, but nevertheless. 500 Caliber Contractz is the next game from this fella, and it's certainly got a particular style. To let you know about it, I'm not going to really explain it, I'm just going to play the first bit of the trailer for this game, and let me know what you think. That's right, this game is supposed to be the sort of thing a 2000s era older brother would play in his room, and it wears that style like a badge of honor. It's only a demo right now, supposed to come out soon, but even this one level available in the demo has that 2000s gunk on it that I'm just barely old enough to remember seeing on YouTube. The incomprehensible menus, characters with names that look like they came from an old Xbox lobby, and the voice lines whenever you get a collectible just have that good crust.
I'm so proud.
Underneath a great style is actually really tight gameplay. The controls take some getting used to, but once you figure out some combos, the movement can be absolutely insane. You essentially use your comically huge sniper rifle to get your speed going, and it can be used as an extra jump, a speed boost, or for shooting the actual targets, of course. In the demo's level, your contract is to find and kill the boss of some company, in which its workers seem to be celebrating the occasion. Besides the main objective, which can actually be beaten in like 20 seconds, the level has a bunch of side missions and secrets to find. There's a challenge where you release this demon that follows you constantly until you find the pieces of a collectible, there's this bomb man fellow that gives you a bomb to go plant on a statue in time, and even a hidden bonus platforming section. The menus are super overstyled, which is just so cool. Even the yes or no screen when wanting to accept Bomb Man's mission goes into this dramatic screen, which is hilarious. The point is, this game absolutely oozes with style no matter what you do in it, and is extremely rewarding once you get the movement down. Honestly, this game plays fantastically, and I highly recommend checking out the demo on Steam. I'm looking forward to the full release. Alright, so those are some Crusty games I recommend. Again, it's about those that are intentional with some sort of weird, maybe almost hindering design choices. Underneath all of these though is a game that at its core is really great. So go check out all the games I talked about here, and again, let me know if you have any recommendations for similar titles. That's about it. Thanks for watching.